Hi everyone, Melissa here. In today's video, I have an awesome success story from an amazing client. And before I get started, just a quick reminder, we're still giving away a free course, How to Find Your Blocks, Manifest Anything Fast. You can find the link for that in the description of this video. Okay, I'm so happy to be back. I had to miss a week because I managed to manifest getting sick, but I'm back and feeling great. And here we are with another amazing video for you guys. Okay, so this story is super special because I've been working with this client for many months, and she had a lot of struggles, a lot of ups and downs, and she finally had her breakthrough, and her manifestation is showing up so beautifully, and I'm so happy to share this. Okay, so this client came to me after a breakup, and it was not her choice. She was the rejected party, and all the things that SP was saying to her just reflected a pretty low self-concept. There was talk about not being in love and just not having those feelings, and not really seeing a future together, and really just, it was very heartbreaking for her. And all things she had been thinking about and pondering on and worrying about and started accepting as true started showing up in her experience, and her SP ended up breaking things off. So we did a lot of work on rebuilding who she is. And what I mean by that is not changing you, not changing everything about you, but rebuilding self-concept, stepping back into her power. Because a lot of times when we get circumstances in our reality that is not what we want, and we're rejected, or there's competition that beats us, or we're getting less than what we feel we should be, that's a reflection of us not valuing ourselves in the way we should be, right? It's a reflection of what we're believing is true about ourselves, and that has to show up for you in your circumstances. So that's where we started. Whenever you're facing circumstances, specifically for rejection in particular, you need to use it as feedback and look at what's happening, and then think about, well, what am I believing is true about myself? And what am I believing is true about this relationship? And what am I believing is true about how this other person feels and how we are? Because that's going to give you a lot of insight. Your circumstances are showing you your beliefs. They're showing you who you are. They're showing you who you identify as. So it's really valuable information, and it can help you in creating the new wanted story. So with this client, there was so much unwanted story about just not being loved, not being good enough or chosen, or specifically that SP didn't think that about her. Okay. And a lot of time throughout this whole journey, this client struggled a lot with checking the 3D for evidence. So we would have some really good sessions. We'd get a really good story going. She would be really strong on her affirmations, but then she would be checking the 3D, checking the 3D, checking the 3D. I don't see anything yet. I don't see anything yet. Why isn't it here yet? I'm persisting. I don't see anything, right? I'm persisting in my new story, but nothing is showing up. And something so important, if you are constantly checking your 3D for evidence of the truth of your manifestation, you are not going to find it, because you're checking from the perspective of, it's not true yet. I don't have it yet. It's not here yet. Why isn't it working? Why is it so hard? Why am I not seeing any movement? Right there. There's your answer. It's because you're looking for it. It's because you're searching for it. You don't search for things that you already know are true. You don't search for something you already have. You don't seek out something you already have. So when you catch yourself doing that, that's an indicator to you that you need to really work on disciplining your mind and persisting in your new wanted story. Because here's the thing, you're either thinking about what you want or what you don't. And that is going to result in you getting circumstances that reflect those thoughts back to you. So when you're checking the 3D, that's you thinking about what you don't want. That's you thinking, oh, I don't have what I want yet. Why isn't it showing up yet? Look, I'm noticing, I don't have it yet. That's you not persisting. That's you thinking about what you don't want instead of sticking to your new story, sticking to your affirmations, scripting, visualizing, whatever it is that makes you feel good and like your desire is true right now. You know, if you were affirming your new story, you wouldn't be checking for evidence because the affirmation is the evidence. The affirmation is the truth. The affirmation is the new truth. The affirmation is the new decree. You know, that's where your power lies. So when you're checking the 3D, you're giving your power away to circumstances that on face value mean nothing, but you're making them mean that what you want is not true. When you're noticing you don't have it, you're making the lack of circumstances or the circumstances in front of you, you're making that mean that you don't have what you want yet. You're making it mean that what you want is not true yet. So all that is you getting off track. It's you slipping off your mental diet. So we really, really worked on that a lot. And this client had a lot of struggles. I mean, she'd have a really good week, feeling really empowered and on top of her story. And then she'd slip back into, why isn't it here yet? I'm not seeing any movement at all. Why haven't I seen zero movement? And she had movement in many other areas of her life. So it's not that she thought manifestation wasn't working or just, you know, but this one area, she had this story going that this area is hard for me. I've never been able to do this before. This person can't change. Maybe this is the one exception. Maybe my circumstances are the exception. You know, that's all you thinking about what you don't want. That's all you creating a story that equals what you don't want. So you have to catch yourself in those moments and redirect your mind. This is where mental diet, this is it right here. This is how you do a mental diet. You catch yourself in those moments, you redirect your thoughts to what you want instead. So she did a lot of work noticing her thoughts and redirecting. And something that was so awesome that she mentioned throughout this whole journey was the way she feels now is very different when she sees circumstances. You know, when you practice consciously changing your thoughts, consciously directing your thoughts to your new story, consciously persisting in your new story, you're not so bothered by the circumstances in front of you or lack of circumstances in front of you. You're more of an indifferent observer because you know that the only thing it takes to get circumstances you want is to change up here, to keep persisting up here, to keep deciding in your mind what is true now for you. And no matter what is or is not showing up in your 3D, no matter the circumstances, you keep deciding that what you want is true. You keep deciding, you keep decreeing, you keep affirming, you keep going to your new story. And that makes you feel empowered. So then when circumstances show up that seem like they might be bad on face value, you can navigate them much easier because they don't feel so daunting. They don't feel hard and impossible because they're just a thing. And when you change your mind about what is true about them, they have to shift to show you that truth back. You know, other new circumstances will also show up to show you what you're now deciding is true. So that's where your power lies. So we really worked on that a whole bunch. So now to the juicy part. Okay, so she had been in no contact with her SP for, I want to say probably like 8 months. It was a long time. And she was really adamant on not reaching out. She wanted him to reach out first. And that was also a story preventing her manifestation from showing up. Because if you're feeling like you can't reach out, why? Why do you think you can't reach out? That's you thinking about it from the perspective that what you don't want is true. Because if you thought that SP wanted to talk to you, wanted to hear from you, you talked all the time, you were always in communication, they love you, how, you know, if you had good feelings about how they felt about you and how they communicate with you and how they would receive messages from you, you wouldn't be hesitant to reach out, right? And if you have all those good feelings, but you don't want to reach out because you just want to prove it to yourself, again, that's a story. That's you living from the place of, I don't have this yet, I need them to reach out to me to prove that I have it. So see, you're always either thinking about what you don't want or thinking about what you do want, as though it's true right now. So if you're thinking about what you don't want as though it's true right now, that's what you have to change. That's your only job. That's the only thing you have to do is change that. Change that. Change your story. Okay? So anyways, we after a while, she decided that she had moved through all those stories and she was really persisting in her new story and feeling really good. And SP's birthday was coming up. So she just had this urge to reach out and wish SP a happy birthday. And there was no intention behind it, like, ooh, if I do this, he's going to say how much he misses me, or, you know, this is what's going to get us back together, or, you know, there was none of that. It was simply just, I feel like I want to wish this person happy birthday, so I'm going to do it. So she did. And that is when the floodgates opened. That one action, that one inspired action, allowed her manifestation to start coming in, because she finally got out of her own way. You know, a big block for her was, I can't be the first one to reach out because whatever's after, because that's you deciding that's true. You know, you're creating that narrative. So she didn't have any, you know, no matter how SP reacted to that phone call, it didn't matter, because she was firm in her wanted truth, which was, SP loves me, we talk all the time, loves to hear from me, etc. So no matter how those circumstances played out next, she was okay, because she was now the indifferent observer, and she was just following her instincts, you know, following her intuition. Okay, that's why this is inspired action versus forced. If it was a forced action, she would be thinking, okay, I'm going to call SP because I know if I reach out to them and wish happy birthday, they're going to have to respond to me. It's going to force them to talk to me. It's going to force them to start communicating again. You know, it wasn't coming from that perspective. It wasn't coming from, I don't have this yet, I'm still rejected, this person doesn't want to talk to me. It was coming from the new story of, this person always loves to hear from me. Of course, they'll be happy to hear from me. They love getting birthday messages, and they love getting birthday messages from me, etc. And that was a big turning point for her, because it finally clicked that, you know, it's always, who am I being right now? Am I being the person who was rejected, or am I being the person that is chosen? You know, all the power lies in who you're being right now, who you're identifying as right now. Okay. And everybody is just a story. It's just part of the storyline. They're just a character in that story. So if you're being the rejected person, you're forcing someone to have to reject you, right? With your mind, because if you take on the identity of a rejected person, somebody or many people are going to have to reject you. So anyways, she wished SP happy birthday, and they are officially talking and dating and loving on each other like no time has passed. And he was so happy to hear from her, and it's just manifesting so beautifully. And he's saying affirmations back to her that she has been thinking for all these months. You know, she's finally hearing those words back to her. So it doesn't matter how long there's no contact. It doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter who broke up with who. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is. It doesn't matter if there's a third party. It's always all about what story am I continuing to tell myself is true about this person, about how they feel about me, about who I am, about our relationship, about our circumstances, about me, and manifesting in general. You know, a big one that can really help people have a huge breakthrough is just starting to recognize that this is easy. It's easy for me to manifest what I want whenever I want, no matter who's involved. And you can even take it a step further and say manifestations related to specific people are the easiest for me. You know, whatever you are struggling with right now, start telling yourself it's easy. Start telling yourself you're really good at it, because you are, and it is. And the only reason it might be showing up not that way is because of the story you're telling yourself. Stop telling yourself it's hard. Stop telling yourself your circumstances are impossible. Stop telling yourself this person will never talk to you again. Stop telling yourself that third party is more, loved or exists, right? So really, I'm so happy for this client, because this has been a long time coming, and she finally had her breakthrough. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. Why didn't I do this many months ago? But it takes, it just takes persisting in a new story. It just takes not being afraid to let go of that unwanted story. Sometimes we get stuck in patterns of unwanted thoughts, not because we like them, and it's not because they feel good, but it's the evil we know, right? We know what to expect from this story. It's not scary to be vulnerable and let our guard down and take a chance on a new story when we can't see the proof yet. That's where it calls upon you to have the tiniest bit of faith in yourself and be brave and go for it. Go for it. Because what do you have to lose? You already don't have what you want right now. So shifting your story, what do you have to lose? You only have the possibility of getting your manifestation. You only have the possibility of getting everything you want, because you already don't have what you want, right? So why not take a chance and really start disciplining your mind and change your story? It just takes assuming something better. That's all it takes. So if you just catch one thought at a time, don't be hard on yourself. Just have some, have some grace, be gentle with yourself, and one thought at a time. Okay. So when you think about SP and the past and whatever happened before, oh, no. Okay, that's fine. You know what? That's what I used to think was true. That's what happened before. That's not what's true now. That's not how we feel now about each other. That's not how we are now. This is what's true instead. And then you go to your new story. 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 And the more you do that, the less you're going to notice you have to do that, because your brain is going to start to recognize that pattern as your go-to thought pattern. That's going to become your default story pretty soon. Right now, if you're still trying to rekindle a relationship or trying to create a new one, whatever it is, the only difference between you having it and not having it is right now you're believing more in a story that equals you not having it. And you can just as easily start believing in a story that equals you do have it. And all it takes is just a better thought. Start assuming something better is true about yourself and that person and your relationship and how you are with each other and how you feel about each other, okay? Because everything is possible for you, and you can do it, and you can have it, and it can happen so fast. You just have to change your story, okay? I know I'm going to have a round 2 of this video because the story is going to get juicier. And so many more awesome things are developing for this client. So to this client, you know who you are. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. You did it. You finally did it. And I cannot wait for an update. So I think that's it for this one. I just wanted to inspire everybody. No circumstance is impossible. It doesn't matter if you dumped somebody or you were dumped or there's a third party or there's not a third party or you haven't talked to them in years. Doesn't matter. You can get it. You can have it. You can have whatever you want. You can do it. It just takes changing your story. Okay. And if you need help figuring out what stories you're telling yourself that are contrary to what you want, that's why I'm here. I would love to coach you. You can find the link for that in the description of this video. I also have some awesome courses, also link in the description. And if you guys have any ideas for content you want to see, please put that in the comments, because I love to hear from you and I would love to give you what you want to hear about. All right. I think that's it for this one. I intend you all have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one.